Казкові хвилини від Катерини. Cinderella. Long ago, once upon a time, there was a beautiful and sweet little girl. When she was very small, her mother fell ill. On her deathbed, the mother called her daughter to her. She said, "Always live well and truthful, and the world will be good to you, my dear." Right after those words, she closed her eyes forever. The girl's father was a wealthy businessman who often traveled. Not long after the death of his wife, he married again. With his new wife, the businessman had 2 more daughters. They were beautiful on the outside, but bad on the inside, and were very mean to their half-sister. They took away her beautiful clothes and made her do all the chores around the house. At night, she was not allowed to sleep in a nice soft bed, but had to lie in front of the fireplace. As a result, her clothes were always covered in ashes, and she was called Cinderella. Cinderella constantly thought about her mother's words and never complained about anything she had to do. When Cinderella's father went on another trip, he asked his daughters what they wanted. The youngest daughters asked for the most expensive clothes and most beautiful jewelry. Cinderella only wanted the first twig that would bump into her father's head on the return trip. On the way back, Cinderella's father drove under a hazel tree. A twig brushed past his head, and he remembered the promise to his eldest daughter. At home, Cinderella was overjoyed with the twig. She plants it on her mother's grave and starts to cry. Through her tears, the twig grew into a beautiful hazel. Every day Cinderella visited the grave, and every day there was a little white bird in the tree. Whenever Cinderella wished for something, the little bird would fulfill her wish. When all 3 girls were old enough to be married, the king happened to throw a party that would last 3 days. All the beautiful girls in the country were invited. After all, the prince was looking for a bride. The sisters were also invited, but her stepmother wouldn't let Cinderella go. "You don't have any nice clothes to wear to the ball anyway," Cinderella was told. Cinderella listened, but as she helped her sisters comb their hair and put on dresses, she cried softly. Once everyone was off to the ball, Cinderella sat down under the hazel tree and begged the little bird for gold and silver. Immediately, a magnificent dress and matching shoes fell down. Cinderella quickly changed her clothes and went to the ball. At the ball, the prince couldn't take his eyes off Cinderella and danced with her all evening. No one recognized the girl. When the prince wanted to take her home, Cinderella quickly escapes. Next evening, the exact same thing happened. In an even more beautiful dress, Cinderella arrives at the party and dances with the prince all evening. And again, she is gone before the prince knew who she is. And on the 3rd night, on the party as well, Cinderella went to the hazel. This time she got the most beautiful dress she has ever seen and all gold shoes. Again, Cinderella and the prince danced the night away. This time, the prince was determined not to let Cinderella escape and had made the stars sticky. As a result, Cinderella lost her left shoe as she fell home. The prince grabs the shoe from the stairs and decides to go in search of the girl. The one who fits this shoe will be my wife. Many girls tried to put on the shoe, but it didn't fit anyone. The mean sisters tried. The mean sisters tried also, but both have feet that are way too big. Could I also try it on? Asked Cinderella shyly. She was allowed to, and to everyone's surprise, the shoe fitted perfectly. Then the prince recognized her and took her to his castle. Cinderella and the prince get married and live happily ever after. The Gingerbread Man. This is a story that was told to a little girl by her great-great-great-great-grandmother many years ago. Once upon a time, there was a little old man and a little old woman who lived together in a little house on the edge of the forest. They were very happy together, but wanted to have a child badly, but could not have one. One day, when the little old woman was baking cookies, she cut the dough in the form of a little man and put it into the oven. A little while later, she checked the oven to see if the cookie was done. When she opened the oven, the little gingerbread man jumped out of the oven and started to run. The old woman called her husband, and together they ran after the gingerbread man, but they couldn't catch him at all. The gingerbread man arrived at an old barn with shredders. While he was running past, he yelled to the shredders, "I ran away from an old woman and man, and I can also run away from you. Yes, I can." The barn with the shredders started running after the gingerbread man, and though they thought to be very quick, they didn't manage to catch the little man. So the gingerbread man ran further and came across a field with lawn mowers and yelled, "I ran away from an old man and old woman. I also ran away from a barn with shredders. So I can also run away from you. Yes, I can." And so the lawn mowers started running after the gingerbread man, but they also could not catch him. He ran further and further and ran into a cow and yelled, "I ran away from an old man and an old woman. A barn of shredders could not catch me. A field of lawn mowers didn't come close. And I will run from you. Yes, I can." And although the cow started running immediately, the cow also couldn't keep up. The gingerbread man ran into a pig and yelled in his passing, "I ran away from an old woman and an old man. A barn of shredders and a field of lawn mowers could not keep me up." And also the cow didn't manage. "I shall now run away from you. Yes, I can." The pig started running, but it didn't manage to come close. Then he passed a fox and said, "I ran away from an old woman and an old man, a barn of shredders, a field of lawnmowers, a cow, and the pig could not keep up with me. Now I shall run away from you. Yes, I can." The fox started running, but foxes are as quick as lightning, and in no time he had caught up with the gingerbread man and started eating him. "Oh no, a quarter of me has been eaten," said the gingerbread man. "Oh no, a half of me has been eaten," continued the man. and soon 3/4 of me has been eaten, and finally I have been eaten whole, and since nobody has heard of the gingerbread man ever again. The Wolf and 7 Small Goats. Once upon a time, there was a mother goat with 7 little kids. Every day she went into the forest to gather food for the evening. Before leaving the house, she would call her children to her and tell them about the greatest danger that roamed in the forest. There was a dangerous, scary wolf in the forest. Children, be careful of the bad wolf. Never let him into the house. The wolf often disguises himself, so you might not recognize him quickly, but listen to his voice. His rough voice will give him away. Also, look at his feet. Are they black? They don't trust him. And so, Mother Goat warned her children time and time again, and the children reassured their mother each time. Go now, dear mommy, we can take care of ourselves very well. Mother Goat had not been gone very long when someone knocked on the door. Someone called out, "Open up, dear children, it's me, your mother. I've brought something delicious for everyone." But children knew it was the wolf. They recognized him by his rough voice. "We will not open the door for you," they shouted. "You are not our mother. Our mother has a sweet voice, and yours is rough. You are the bad wolf." Then the wolf went to the store and bought some sweet licorice. He ate it so to soften his voice. Then he went back to the house of the 7 little goats and knocked again on the window. "Open up, dear children, here I am, your mother, and I've brought something sweet for you all." But little goats saw the imprint on the wolf's black paws on the window. "You are not our mother. Our mother doesn't have black paws like you. You are the wolf." The wolf then went to the baker and asked him for some flour to make his paws white. At first, the baker refused, but when the wolf threatened to devour him, the baker personally rubbed the flour on the wolf's paws to make them white. Now, for the 3rd time, the wolf went to the house of the 7 little goats. He knocked on the front door and said in his softest and sweetest voice, "Dear children, I am finally home. I'm your mother, and I have brought something from the forest for all of you. You can safely open the door." The little goats asked, "Let us see your paws first, so we know you are our dear mother." When little goats saw that the paws were really white, they believed that it was their mother and quickly and enthusiastically opened the door. But what a fright! It was the wolf who entered their house. The little goats were frightened and went into hiding. One hid under the table, the second hid in the bed, the third climbed into the stove, the fourth found a hiding place in the kitchen, the fifth hid in the closet, the sixth crawled under the sink, and the 7th locked himself in the clock cabinet. But the wolf found them all and devoured all of them in one gulp. except for the seventh little goat. The goat in the clock cabinet was the only goat that he had not found. The wolf had eaten his fill, and feeling satisfied, he lay down under a tree in the green grass and soon fell asleep. At that moment, Mother Goat returned from the forest. To her great shock, she saw that the front door of the house was wide open. The house was in shambles. The table, chairs, and benches were smashed. The wash basin was in pieces, and the cushions and duvets were pulled off the beds. She searched for her children, but they were nowhere to be found. Then she called out all her children by name, and finally the voice of the seventh little goat softly sounded from the clock cabinet. "I'm here, dear Mom. I'm in the clock cabinet." The seventh little goat told her that the wolf had eaten all 6 other children. Bravely, Mother Goat ran outside, where she saw the wolf sleeping under the tree. She looked at his belly and saw a lot of movements. "Oh, my dear heavens! The wolf has swallowed the goats in one gulp. This means they're still alive." She ran into the house and took a pair of scissors and needle and thread. She cut open the wolf's belly, and her 6 little goats came out. No one was hurt. The mother asked her children to find some large stones. She used these stones to fill the wolf's belly and then quickly sewed his belly closed with needle and thread. When the wolf woke up, he felt that his stomach was still very full. "Wow, those goats are weighing heavy on my stomach," muttered the wolf on his way to the well. He had become very thirsty. At the well, he leaned over to drink the water, but due to the weight of the stones, he tumbled forward and fell into the deep, deep well. The 7 little goats saw it happen and ran to the well. The wolf had drowned and could never ever bother them again. And so the 7 little goats lived happily ever after with their lovely mom. Bedtime poems. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, when the blazing sun is gone, when the nothing shines upon. Then you show your little light, twinkle, twinkle, all the night. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Then you show your little light, twinkle, twinkle, all the night. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Starlight, star bright, first